Hi, I'm Paul Cusimano, and today is the day that we go live with Let's Talk. Let's Talk is a channel that we're going to be discussing topical, motivational, community-based subjects and topics. Hopefully it's going to be eventually driven by the community, who they want to be seen being interviewed, what topics they want to talk about and need addressing. My co-host is Stephanie. Now, Stephanie got involved because she left a really positive comment on the post where I announced that we were doing this, and so I thought she can be motivational. So here she is today with me, hoping to motivate me to get through this trying episode. So, Stephanie, a little about you, please.
Oh, well, I just want to say thank you, Paul, for asking me to take part in this with you. I think we need to say that I've known you a long time, 20 plus years. I've been coming into this shop. I do this for my job. I'm pastoral lead. My thing is positive affirmations, which you get a lot of, as well as a lot of other comments, but, we won't go there. So, yeah, I'm really excited to Let's Talk.
Lovely. So the first one's going to be about myself, what I've done over the years, perhaps. I don't know.
Well, I've got
you've got the questions.
I've got it here. Well, actually, I haven't just got it. I have got it here, but I've also got a lovely cue card that
that I was quite insistent on having.
Yes, very Graham Norton-y. Really like it. I have the questions on here, but
You're not going to stick to them necessarily.
Yeah, I got the ones that you kind of recommended, but
right.
They're going. And yeah.
Let's start. Let's talk.
Okay. So, Paul, let's talk about your name. So I've known you a long time, like I've said before, but I find it difficult to pronounce your name. Sometimes I get it right, sometimes I get it wrong. And also as well, tell us what the crack is with your Facebook name.
Okay. The name's Cusimano. Originates from Sicily. That's where my dad was from. Came over in 1958. I chose to use Paolo because when I set up the shop Facebook, you have to have an account. And really, I'm not into social media, or wasn't until we started with Totally Local Lancaster. So I put Paolo thinking nobody would really find me because everybody knew me as Paul. But now that's not the case. People find me because of Totally Local Lancaster.
Yeah, if you wanted to be hidden, it didn't work.
It didn't. It was another failure of an attempt to be.
I actually Googled it. When I first saw you on Facebook, I Googled it, and it's Paul. It's Paul in Italian, isn't it?
It is, yeah. So I tried to be cute, but it wasn't subtle enough. Not in a long way.
So I've heard that some people call you Paolo and some people call you Paul, which is a little confusing. If that's why I brought it up, really, because some people think, why? So obviously you've explained now.
Well, yeah, and I can almost tell the ones that know me from Facebook and the ones that know me from coming in the shop or other elements of life. Yeah. So,
because to be fair, when I first saw it, I thought, oh my gosh, I've been calling him the wrong name all this time.
Yeah, no, you've been calling me the right name. That was my birth name, which is interesting because I always felt that my name and my brother's name was boring.
Really?
By today's standards, when you see some of the great names that people have as Christian names, and I once said to my dad, "Why did you call us Peter, Paul, and Richard?" And he said, in those days when he first came to England, foreign nationals weren't necessarily as welcomed as they are today. So he didn't want us to stand out, a name like Cusimano, and he didn't want us to stand out. So he gave us English Christian names. So
I like the name Paul, it's nice.
Thank you.
It's lovely.
Well, I believe you're married to a Paul, so you would say that.
No, I'm saying it anyway. I like the name Paul. So when I used to come into the shop, one thing that we used to talk about, well, I still come to the shop, but when I used to come in years ago, one thing that we used to talk about and something we had in common was running. We used to do a lot of running back then.
In my slimmer days?
I did a lot of running back then. Yeah. But yeah, tell me about your running.
Over recent months, and I don't know what's triggered it all, but I've been exploring myself in context of why I have certain thoughts, feelings, beliefs, predominantly about myself. And running was something I always found easy. I used to be short and squat as opposed to tall and hefty as I currently am, but I always had stamina. I wasn't a short distance runner, but distance never tired me. I remember once at school, we did the cross country course, which I believe was over 2 miles, which was sort of standard for children at school. And one of my friends, when I'd finished the cross country course, he said, "All right," he said, "I want to beat you now." I said, "What are you talking about?" And he said, let's do it again. I said, "But I've just done it and you haven't." He said, "Yeah, so it gives me a chance." So we went and did the cross country circuit again. And
Did he beat you?
he didn't know. But I didn't want to add that bit in. But no, he didn't beat me. But as I say, distance was always my thing. And when I think back to my own insecurities, I don't want this to be about my own insecurities, but my own insecurities that I was always self-conscious. And when I used to come into town at 10, 12 years of age to see my dad in his workshop, and he send me on errands, which I used to love doing for him. I used to love doing anything with or for my dad. And I'd get to the end of Sun Street, either Market Street or Church Street, and I would run from there to wherever it was I needed to go. And my thoughts at the time was I didn't want to be seen. So I used to run to get it done. And the moment I returned to the safety of Sun Street, I would walk again. Catch my breath. And that was it. Mission accomplished. But running was my thing. And as I grew up, I found running a good release from stresses or strains or confusions.
And you've done marathons?
I loved doing marathons. I would love to get back to running again when I lose some weight. And I would love to do one more marathon, if not more. So yeah, I loved marathon. I've done numerous: London, Snowdonia, Manchester, Nottingham. I think they're the main ones I've done. So yeah, I loved it. Loved going out on a Sunday morning, particularly because that was always my long run day, and I'd be out at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Did you mind what the weather was like when you were running? I used to love running in the rain.
Well,
That's my favourite time to run was when it was raining.
Well, I didn't like going out in the rain, but if I was coming up to an organised event like a marathon, half marathon, something, I would stick to my programme regardless of whether I've ran in snow. But ordinarily, if I was between an organised run, I would not go out in the rain unless I had to. If it rained while I was out, then I was fine. I was happy. It's just that initially stepping out when the weather wasn't good, I didn't like. But,
made me run faster in the rain.
It made you run faster. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think once you have reminded me that once I did suggest we could maybe have had a run together.
Well, do you know, I was going to mention it. I was going to say, and Paul, you actually promised to come running with me back in the day, but you never did. But let's not go there.
Oh, so we've got sad eyes going on there.
Sad eyes and a dagger to the heart. But, let's not go there. Well, you've let me down quite a few times, but, we won't discuss it. I just talking
before
about
I answer that one. Yeah, go on.
I always remember when I gave you my number, and you gave me a number, and then I said, "I'll ring you, so you've got mine." And then about half an hour later, you rang me and said, "I just wondered who this was." So that was another blow to the heart.
Another letdown.
Yeah.
Well,
there's so many, Paul. Let's talk about you. You were talking about running to and from your dad's shop. Let's talk about your mum and dad. Because I've just learned that your mum had a shop.
Okay, so Dad had his tailor's workshop on Sun Street, as I said, but it got to a stage where my mum wanted to do something. We were starting to grow up. We weren't that old. I don't think I know. I was 5 years old when we moved up to Scotland because my dad had bought a little draper's shop to make sure that mum had something to do because she wanted to do something other than just bring the kids up. And it was a way in my dad's head, being quite traditionalist, that at least one parent will be at home all the time for us children. So the draper's shop, for circumstances that are too complicated really to discuss here, ended up growing, and it became food off license that then became too big for my mum to actually run. The hours were long, from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. So my elder brother Peter, when he got to an age where he could run the shop with parents around, he started doing that to alleviate, but it became too much 7 days a week. So we were brought up, in effect, in one room and 3 bedrooms, which didn't think about it at the time, but it was actually a little restrictive because we didn't have space. So maybe that's why I spent a lot of time out, and I've spoken before and written about how as long as I had a football and a push bike, I was content because I could entertain myself.
What I love is when you come into the shop, there are little elements of your dad's shop in here that you can see if you just have a little look around. So there's a sign, isn't there? Your dad's sign.
There's 2. There's a little one that sits on the plate shelf just behind the door. I like that because I spend a lot of time behind the counter.
And you can see it.
Yeah, and I can see the shelf because Dad's with me all the time. Even though, I lost him as in his physical presence in 2010, but we lost him in 2004 when he suffered a big stroke. He couldn't speak, couldn't write, so that was difficult. It was as frustrating as hell for him, but it was difficult for us because we didn't know what his needs were. As I say, he couldn't write even to let us know how he was feeling, so that was difficult.
Talk about the other sign that you've got. You've talked about the little one behind the door.
Okay, so
the other one, let's talk about the other one.
The big black one that was outside his shop door. And, never thought about it. It was there many years, and I eventually took it off the wall because the property still stays in our ownership. And I had it at the end of the counter, just stood there, and when I used to go downstairs and come up, I would again see his sign, and something just off with it that I really couldn't figure. I didn't pay too much attention to it until it was a couple of months before Christmas. I was coming up the stairs and stood again and looked at it. There's a spelling mistake on it.
Oh, wow.
It was Taylor as opposed to Tailor. So it's spelled as in the name as opposed to the profession. And I laugh because none of us, my brother...
Never been talked about.
Never been talked about. And as far as I'm aware, it was never noticed.
Wow.
And when I pointed it out to people, they said, well, why don't you change it? And I won't change it.
No.
That's how the sign was. That's my dad's. To change it wouldn't be the same sign anymore. So.
I mean, and I've seen the sign lots of times. I didn't notice. Now working at school, so that's not good, is it?
Well, we have to raise questions there, but you are good at motivating the children. Because tell us what you do on a morning. I know this is supposed to be about me, but I love your story too.
Oh yeah, I love giving out positive affirmations. So, Paul, you are amazing.
No,
and then the children. Oh, you see, you wanted to talk about it.
I wanted to talk about your work with the children.
You wanted to talk about it. So yeah, and then the children. So I affirm the children, and then they affirm themselves by repeating it back.
That's so sweet.
So yeah, it's nice. It's just about reminding yourself and that you are amazing and you're confident and you're strong and all those.
Okay, so maybe we need a little work off camera, off counter.
I've been working with you on this, haven't I? That's why you asked me to do this with you. So
and
you're getting better because at first you wouldn't repeat. No.
No, I wouldn't repeat. And
but we're getting better. We're getting there.
We are.
And your whole body posture is much better today. After, shoulders are relaxed.
Shoulders are more relaxed. That was the workout we did before we started recording.
I know. Relax your shoulders.
Relax.
Repeat after me.
I will. I'll be guided by you.
So let's talk about Joseph's. Let's talk about the shop. Because what I absolutely love this. I mean, when we switched on the lights to start filming this today, it's such a beautiful shop. It's so lovely. It's just as soon as you walk in, it's just got such a beautiful feel. It's historic, which I'd really like you to talk to us about. And you talk about the shop.
The shop was opened in 1974 by Joe Corris, so hence the name Joseph's. I was recently asked.
No, I was in when they asked.
Oh yeah,
yesterday.
Why it was called Joseph's? So I explained that one. I came in 1984, initially just as a Saturday lad.
Oh, I was a toddler then.
So let's see. Yes, yeah, you were. Yeah, 3 years old. Don't want to give your age away or anything, but so I had the obvious love of clothing because of my dad, what he did, and what I would sit around watching him do and learn. So shop work wasn't my first go-to. I actually wanted to be a tailor with my dad, but he told me to go and try other things. So I sort of dipped out a bit by coming and working in a clothes shop. So I got to see my dad still because he did all the alterations for this and many other shops in the city as well as his own private customers. So yeah, I took a love to it. And although, we're not a high footfall shop, we don't have lots of people coming through on an hourly basis, but that gives us time to talk to people when they do come in if they want to talk, whether it's about clothing or I think you've been in enough to know that as many people come in just to chat about a whole variety of
people
subjects.
feel they can come in and talk to you, which is absolutely lovely.
Thank you. But that's where it stemmed from. So enjoyed doing it, had the contact with the tailor inside because we do all the alterations that may be required to ensure a product fits properly.
And free alterations as well. Let's just,
I'll put a plug in there.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
I don't charge because I do want it to fit properly.
And you won't sell something if you don't think it looks good on them?
Well, if their choice of colours or what they like, don't like is their choice. But for me, it won't leave unless it fits properly. And I have refused to sell people garments if it doesn't fit, and they won't let me do the work. And one gentleman said, well, it's my money. And I said, well, it's my reputation.
Yeah.
If it fits good, it looks good. And ultimately, if the customer feels good in a product, then that's my job done. But in 2010, Joe wanted to retire, so I purchased the business off him. And so it's been 16 years, of which it's endured cost of living crisis, a pandemic, and 2 floods. So it's almost biblical in many ways. But I'd like to say that
a lot of the businesses, local businesses, all suffered from, well, they all did, didn't they? Like Waterhouse was down the bottom of town.
That's right.
Moved after the floods.
Yeah, and there's hairdressers. So yeah, it's been forgotten because we're assured by United Utilities that it was a once in a 100-year time occasion. So hopefully, by the time the next 100 years rolls round, I will be retired and won't have a stake in the game. But as this channel is about community, it's really important to mention that when Lancaster flooded in that way, as it did in 2015, Storm Desmond, how people came together.
Yeah.
And that was my real first experience of a community feel, community spirit, because the offers of help we got was incredible to the point where there was that many people turning up the day we got power back. Was the Monday. Yeah, we got full power back Monday. That I ended up overloaded and walking out the shop because there was that many people that it was difficult to say to them, look, there's too many people here.
Yeah.
But they'd all come with good intention, and right down from Nigel Hodgson. I know you know Nigel.
I love his chippy.
His chippy, yeah. Let's see how many plugs we can get in.
I will only get my fish and chips from Hodgson's chippy, and I live in Morecambe. So I travel from Morecambe to Lancaster and back, double wraps them.
They double wraps them.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure he'll triple wrap them next time for this plug. But it's, Nigel came and he said, look, we've got all the sanitising equipment. I had LCD, David and Wayne. They came and helped us pump out the remainder of the water and helped with clean down. So Mrs. Holt, our alteration lady that she turned up in all her gear and like, come on, let's get this open, because I'd actually melted down.
Yeah.
I ended up melting down because it's like for me, my whole world had just imploded. And I have to say that everybody else took control. Yeah. And we flooded. We were one of the first in Lancaster to start flooding in the basement sales area on the late afternoon of the 5th of December. And by Friday, it was a Saturday, by the Friday, we were fully open again.
Yeah.
Okay, work's needed doing, but we were open to trade again, and that was my first experience of a tremendous effort by community.
Yeah.
And mine wasn't the only shop that received this or only business, because pubs had the same.
Yeah.
Stonewall Tap down the bottom, and Simply Baby and others.
Yeah. So talking about the shop, the building's evolved and over the time, hasn't it? And I know I've been in when you've been talking about like the historical side of the building.
Yeah, though it's not really got a huge history, as in notable businesses that have ran here, but we've been here as a clothes shop for, this is its 52nd year. So before 1974. Before that, it must have been a jeweller's, because we've got a mother of all safes that doesn't contain anything of value, because I don't have anything of value, but it's a reminder to me on a daily basis of that heritage. But when we did the conversion,
So it's a beautiful site, didn't you? You know, you've
inside,
to me,
inside it's stunning with beautiful inlaid drawers. So, but when we did the conversion, it's going to be a serviced accommodation apartment. It's been student accommodation for 25 years. But a company called Diverse Nation have leased it off me. So they are going to open hopefully early March. When we did the conversion, we found a row of bells down in the basement, which must have been to do with servants, because this and next door used to be one building. I don't know at what period it actually got separated. And round the building on the first sales floor where we're recording this, we found a absolutely intact range, I think they call them, where they used to cook and the source of heat. And there was just little pieces all over, right into the loft. There was memorabilia, perhaps we could call it, from days gone by. So we've tried to save as much as we can. I would like to, at some point during my ownership, maybe try and restore some of the features that have been stripped out, which is what happens over the years. It doesn't serve a purpose, or they don't think it's on trend anymore. I would love to see the original features. We've just had the sash windows worked on upstairs because some of the cords are broken, and it's lovely now to see that the sashes are working properly, not having to be propped up by a piece of wood or a book or something. So it's interesting. But when you look around Lancaster, and instead of just looking at the shop fronts, which is what most people do when they go to a city, if we go to York or Bath or equivalent types of city, we tend to marvel about the architecture, but as locals, I don't think we do enough. And
no.
You look above NatWest Bank, for example, and see the stonework that's there, even though I don't believe that building in its current formation is original. I think it's been altered over the years, but it's been done well. It's all in keeping, and I think I would suggest anybody that comes to Lancaster actually has a good look around above, and I think they'll be very surprised at what they see, not just a shop front. So that's my love of the architecture here, because it is Georgian. This is a Georgian building, and fundamentally we're a Georgian city, even though we've got a 2,000-year history going back to the Romans. And
people, when they come in the shop, they absolutely. Yesterday I was in. Somebody popped in to say hi to you, and they were talking to me about how they feel amazing when they walk out the shop and they've been in here and bought something.
I don't know who that was, but that's very kind of them and nice of you to bring it up. But that's what we try to do.
Yeah, it's my dad's favourite shop. He's shopped here for years and years, and it's our go-to when it's his birthday or Christmas is to come in and get him a voucher for here, and he loves it. He loves it because he loves coming in. He loves the clothes that you sell, but he loves the honesty. You'll always be honest, and tell him what fits nice, what doesn't, and he walks out knowing that he's going to look smart and nice and feel good. That's what's important, isn't it?
That's what's important for me, is that people like your dad and lots of other people who've shopped with us the years I've been here, that they go out feeling like that, and honesty and integrity has got to be at the heart of any business. I'm not, for example, at the minute with all that's going on, business is quieter, but I'm not going to missell something to somebody because I want the turnover.
And I've noticed as well from being in here, I've been in here more lately because of obviously the podcast.
The attempts at the podcast. This is take 3.
Take 3 of the podcast. I wasn't going to say that, but yeah, take 3. But yeah, and when I've been in and you've not been in because you've not had to nip out, customers will come in and they'll ask for you. And as much as Hannah and Lindsay are lovely, they really are. But it's you that people want when they come in. That must be nice. That must be a nice feeling. They want to see you. They love finding out how you are. And but I think that's because you invest so much in other people. People ask you how you are, but you deflect, and you're so interested in other people. Genuinely care about people and are there to help and to, yeah, it's nice. It's lovely.
I don't know which part of that you want me to answer, if any of it, but
just listen, really. It's a compliment, and that's something that you find really hard to take is compliments. I've known that over the years. But yeah, you're very good at giving out to other people and listening to other people, but when it's about you, kind of retreat a little bit. But yeah, let's talk about Totally Local Lancaster, even why you set that up. Because there's been a few, like you put, just kind of skipping a little bit back onto Let's Talk, but you put it out there about Let's Talk, which was big for you because, like you say, once you put something out there, then it means that you've got accountability to then have to do it. So the idea came for Let's Talk. You were unsure, really unsure, didn't think you'd be able to do it, but then decided you would give it a go. You put it out that you were going to give it a go. And then we did the first take, which we thought was good. Actually, there were a few technical issues.
It was technical issues, wasn't it? Both the previous have been technical issues.
Yeah. So, but we got outtakes from it, and they were put out there, weren't they? Just to kind of see what the feel was around it. And the comments, the reactions were absolutely brilliant, really, really lovely. I mean, I went to work the next day, and I felt great because obviously I didn't tell anyone. It happened quite fast for me.
Yep.
From you asking me, I think it was a Friday you asked me, and the Sunday we were filming. But yeah, it's been lovely. But there have been a couple of people that have said why, like tell me why. So, if people have to ask that question, for me, they don't really know you, because to me it's obvious why we're doing this podcast. It's about community, and that's the same with Totally Local Lancaster, isn't it? If we go back to that question that I asked you, why you did Totally Local Lancaster and where that came from originally.
Totally Local Lancaster. Given I've already said that I wasn't into social media, I understand the power of social media in the context of the good and the bad. A lot of good can come through social media. I will answer the question, but you maybe have to keep me on track with this one.
Yeah, because we do know you like to waffle.
And that's a comment you made public on the Facebook page.
Yeah.
And one of the proudest things about Totally Local, just one, because there has been many, and most people don't perhaps see that side of it. But one of the proudest was a young Peruvian foreign student came here to study. She got her degree, but then discovered that she had a terminal illness, cancer, and she had to be flown back to Peru where she wanted to spend her last days or hours. And we helped share the GoFundMe page to raise the money to have her specially flown back to a medical flight. And knowing that she got back and she died with a family was one of the special ones for me. My part was little. It was all the people, but the exposure that it got, the shares that it got, and that was one of the highlights, lowlights, whichever way you want to look at it. But totally came about as a consequence of my frustration during the circuit breaker lockdown, the second one. So we've been locked down already for 12 weeks, told that if we do it for 12 weeks, a long period of time, that we could open up again and not have to worry. But then there was a circuit breaker in November that leaked into December slightly. And I was talking to a former acquaintance about the lack of support that the businesses were getting on a practical level. Looking at reopening, the importance of Christmas, how that could make or break a lot of businesses that turned out to have been shut for 16 weeks, best part of 4 months. And we got talking about it, and he was still involved in an organisation that I co-founded, and said it's simply not good enough. So I'd made recommendations and suggestions, maybe is probably a better word. I'm no authority on anything, but I made suggestions to said organisation back in May, and running what's turned out to be Totally Local Lancaster. Such a Facebook page, group, whatever you want to call it, was one of the suggestions, of which I got back an email thanking me for my suggestions, but noted that they didn't think a Facebook page would work. So
little did they know.
Little did they know. And when I was speaking to Mark about it, he said, well, you saw what the reaction was. There's somebody who's person who made the comment or recommendation that it wouldn't work had spent his life in marketing, so would know. So I said, okay, I'll show you what the power of social media can do.
Mm-hmm.
And
make community, what the
community, and I will come on to the community element of it, because I walked away not knowing even how to set up a page. I had to phone somebody else to do it, gave them their name that came to my head. I don't know where it came from, to be quite honest. I think I must have seen something, because it's a series of other ones called Totally Locally, whereas I'd just taken the Totally Local and stuck Lancaster on, and off we went. And 7 p.m. that evening, 7th of November, we launched Totally Local Lancaster. But I didn't want it just to be about sharing posts one after the other businesses. I tried to mix it up and put, originally through the lockdown, informational posts that government or local authority were putting out, safety posts, but then tried to put some humorous elements to it, some inspiration, like I could have done with you then. But I wanted it to have, as I said to people when they said, well, why have you just launched that? Because first couple of days, it was a couple of dozen people, but the following just grew exponentially. That's the correct term. And I said I wanted it to have a personality. I think my personality is ingrained there. It's unique. Thank you. You have this great way of just relaxing me, don't you? And that's what it became. More than just, in effect, a local choice advert after advert. It was a Facebook page. There was more of a publication like Lancashire Life, Lancashire and North West magazine, that hopefully had interest, and it quickly got taken on. The numbers, it just got insane, because I check everybody that joins, every comment, every post, I check. At the time, I had obviously plenty of time to do that during the lockdowns, but I wanted to make sure we didn't have bitch fights going on. We didn't have lots of negativity. And I've got to say that I've had to manage that side of it very little. That most comments are positive. Most statements made are in keeping with what I wanted to set up. So that's where Totally Local came from. Other proud moments were through the third and final lockdown, where I get comments from people, private messages, because they found me, Paolo, so they click on me and message me. And it was so lovely. One elderly lady, she said, I live on my own. I'm obviously not seeing anybody. I can't go out. My neighbours do the shopping for me. And she says, I wake up in the morning and all I want to do is turn my phone on to see what you're up to. Because in those days, I was posting maybe 20 posts a day. I didn't want to oversaturate, and it wasn't just business posts. Mm-hmm. And that, again, meant a lot to me, because I was seeing what it was doing for other people. It wasn't just about trying to support the businesses. Other people were gaining from it. That made me want to carry on, because it is a lot of hard work, but it made me want to carry on, because I believed that if I could help one business or one person, and that's always been my philosophy, I don't care how much effort I put into something.
Well, you definitely do that, because I try and follow all the local businesses, shops, independent shops on social media. And I do that. But I see their pages and what their posts more through Totally Local Lancaster than I do than their shop popping up. And I don't know what that is, why that is. And it's really handy to have it all in one place. So there's lots of things that I've seen through Totally Local Lancaster that have prompted me to either go and get that as a gift for a friend or birthday present, Christmas present. And what I really love is at Christmas, a couple of months before Christmas, you'll remind people locally to shop local at Christmas. Don't want them to overspend and spend out of their kind of remit. Or you do encourage people, if they are going to spend locally, and maybe think about local supporting the local businesses. And I love that, because even though I try and do that, you can get carried away at Christmas time, going to the bigger cities, big markets, all of that. And it does make you think, no, it makes you take a moment and step back and think, no, yes, what can I get locally before I go on these lovely trips to bigger cities and bigger places? So I know that it's definitely good for me to be reminded of that every year.
Yeah, well, when I run up to Christmas for probably most of the years that we've done Totally, I like the strapline, don't spend more, spend local, because as you've alluded to there, that I don't want to encourage anybody to spend money they haven't got, but to simply try and spend it local. I understand these last couple of years now, we've got the cost of living crisis, which is hitting hard, hitting not only households but businesses as a consequence, because if households haven't got the money, then they ain't going to be spending it, so the businesses are impacted. But the journey from starting Totally Local made me discover businesses I didn't know were there.
Yeah.
And the classic one was Tin Box Angel, a fabulous workshop crafting beautiful leather products in the covered arcade, which I'd passed for many years but never ventured into. And it's been an eye-opener for me, and a realisation for me that when people, if they're strangers to a city, they tend to go on the main high street. For us in Lancaster, it would be Cheapside, Penny Street, Market Street. That the little shops, the interesting shops, the shops that give any city a USP are actually the ones on the outskirts of the city centre. So go down the side streets, go into Dalton Square, China Street, because there's some fabulous businesses there. Across Dalton Square, you've got the Borough and countless other little businesses and barbers, and arterias round the corner on Brock Street. You shouldn't ever just stick to your main high streets, because that's where you find your multiples, which is great if you want the multiples. But what makes a city is the independence every time, because there you get real personality. With a multiple, their shop window displays are all sent as a graphic, so the store managers know what they have to have in the window at any given time, how the window should look. So there's that standardisation, which has its place. But you look at, as I say, Arteria, Viva, you look at Penny Street Collectibles, really real curiosity shops. And I want to give a plug to
Shout out.
Shout out. Give a shout out.
Trying to say both at the same time.
I'm trying to say everything. And to Lee Clark at the Old Sea Dog.
Oh, because he was in Morecambe.
It was in Morecambe.
That's my auntie's favourite shop. So she lives in Sheffield when she comes back to Morecambe. Yeah, she always goes to visit Lee.
Yeah,
she loves Lee.
What he gets in there, I mean, I defy anybody to go in there, spend less than 10 minutes.
It's mesmerising.
Yeah.
You walk past the shop, and if you haven't got time to go in, you just walk past the window. It just makes you smile, because it's absolutely mesmerising. The window is just
full of stuff that you couldn't go in there for even as little as 10 minutes.
No.
I mean, I defy you to come out within 10 minutes and not find stuff that you're just blown away with. And I like things that are old, so I wonder about stories. You touched on the story of the shop, but the story of, I wonder where that was, or whose garden that was in, or whose wall. And absolutely fascinating. When they were doing upstairs, behind some wallpaper, they found a player's cigarette packet.
Oh, wow.
Not just the, in effect, front cover. And that was my dad's. My dad obviously hadn't owned this building, but that was my dad's cigarette of choice when he smoked. And Deborah sent me down a picture of this player packet, and she said she would give me it. And then I left work and walked up Moor Lane, and passing Lee's, there was an old sign
Oh, really?
for
Wow.
Players Cigarettes. And it's
Gosh.
like, the coincidence.
Yeah, that's amazing.
So maybe Dad was sending me a message. I don't know what the message was, but I'm sure it wasn't start smoking, son. But no, it's a fabulous shop, and it's shops like Lee's and Vicky's and Jess's and Jane's and that give that city something very special. So
yeah, they're lovely. And when going back to Totally Local Lancaster, they you share their post, don't you, onto that? And if either you share it or they can actually put their post forward for you to share.
Yeah.
Because I know that there's a lovely little bakery out just up by the train station, and I'd noticed that she'd not been on Totally Local Lancaster. Couldn't really work out why. So I went in and bought cake, didn't I?
You brought cake.
I bought cakes. I thought I want to give Rachel a plug to you. So I went and got cake, and I mentioned to her and I said, oh, I told her it was for you. And about Totally Local Lancaster, and she said, I don't really know how it works. She genuinely didn't know. And that's when you said, well, businesses can,
self-promote, or I can do it for them.
Yeah, and you did a great post for her, which was amazing, absolutely brilliant, and the cake's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, it got tremendous a tremendous number of reactions and comments, and the reach for that post.
Well, you sent me it was big, wasn't it?
Yeah, it ended up in the teens of thousands. So it's a free.
It's advertising, isn't it?
It's advertising and free.
Yeah,
don't have to do anything. You create your post yourself as a business, and then either share it or as one business has just done, because they don't know how to use social media. So they sent me a load of images, and I created a post for them because I'm when I used to write for Lancashire and North West magazine. If I covered a business, whether it was Banks Lyons, Reenie's, or Expressions, all the countless businesses that I covered in editorial form, I always send it back to them because I see their business as their pride and joy, and I want to make sure that I'm adequately representing them. So when I was asked to create a post, I created it, the wording, sent it back to the business, and they made a few little tweaks, technical information tweaks, and we went live with it, and they came in and they said they were so pleased with seeing the reaction. So I'm happy to do that for people, as well as to share their posts, because some businesses want me to share their posts because I usually put a little something on in sharing, and they say they've noticed that when I share it, it gets more reactions than if they just share it themselves. Yeah. So
you're very fair with it, because you don't want it to be flooded by just one shop all the time. So you're very fair, aren't you? That you make sure that it's different businesses, it's different independent.
I try to do and try to be. I do get concerned sometimes that I remember to, because some businesses, I'll approach it a different way. There are some businesses that are really good at a good stream, and I don't necessarily mean putting 20 posts out a day on the Facebook, but that's their choice. But a good stream of posts that I can then tap into and share. But some businesses don't use Facebook. Some businesses don't.
And some businesses like yourself have a Facebook, but actually don't promote themselves, because you are very good at promoting other people and not so good at promoting yourself, although you are getting better.
I'm bizarre. I will sit there and spend hours per day going through finding other people's posts to share, instead of actually maybe putting posts on myself. But I found that the posts I do put on, even though they are infrequent, do get a good reaction, good shares, good reach. So I'm sort of happy doing that. But what I don't want to do is put a load of posts on my own shop Facebook, and then share it onto Totally Local, and it looked like I'm just doing it for self-promotion.
No, that's not true.
Yeah.
That's typically of you, because you promote other people before yourself, but you also do the same when people come in the shop and they ask after you and you deflect, and straight away you are interested in other people and you remember what people tell you, and then when they come back in you ask them, and you're very good at that. You're very good at making people feel really good about themselves and just caring. Got a heart of gold, Paul, is what I'm going to say.
Heart of gold, thank you. But people have always interested me. Ever since I was little, I was always interested in people. Spending time in my dad's shop, going back to my dad, it's almost like this has morphed into what my dad's was, in the sense that people would come in to chat. And I do get as many people into chat as I do to look for clothes. And I love that. And what I used to love about his shop and my childhood memories was the foreign nationals that would find his shop, most to do with the university. In those days, we would get Iranian people coming in from the East, and that would always fascinate me, hearing about their culture, because they wouldn't go into my dad just for alterations, but my dad would end up talking to them for ages, a bit of a chatterbox, so perhaps that's where I get it. A waffler.
Was he a waffler?
A waffler. I got there before you. And learning about other people and cultures, particular cultures. And when I met Dina and Isam, who had miso, they really opened my eyes to the Arab culture. And I really love it, because when we then ate, and they were so hospitable. Oh, is that the correct term?
Yeah.
Hospitable. That when we ate together, which we did, I had the privilege of eating a few times with them. The food coming out is like, that's not too dissimilar to eating in Sicily. And of course, the Sicilian heritage is that it was ruled at some stages of its history by Arab countries, by North African countries. And so that's why I love I think Sicilian cuisine, because it does have mixtures and blends in there. And when we look at our own town here, there used to be chip shops, there used to be Chinese restaurants, and then Indian restaurants and takeaways became more apparent. And now we have a lovely mix of other cultures, with Turkish, Japanese. We have one, because Nami's shut. But it's lovely seeing all these cuisines, and of course a university, which has been just through my lifetime. I think it opened just before I was born, and before I came to Lancaster. Before I came to Lancaster. But the wealth of foreign nationals that one established, and actually the NHS, get a lot of foreign workers there, and for me, it should be embraced. What we have, people should come. They contribute, and it's not just contributing with their skills or their academic ability, but actually contributing as people. Because as I say, I love people. You've picked up on it, and so Totally Local has been very good for me to get myself out there. But I was always protected, because anything I did was generally just written. As a consequence of the last 3-4 months, some of the journeys I've taken on, 315.
Well, I was going to say, you've been putting yourself out there more lately, haven't you, with 315, Reset, you post on 315, you post on Reset, and actually you've been really kind of very open about, those posts have been really open and raw, and I came in and spoke to you about your 315 post, because I really resonated with it. I mean, I was reading it and I was laughing in parts, because how you kind of fumbled when you went into the entrance and you were all kind of in a tears. That was me when I first went to 315. And people can resonate with it, and they can, it's good, really. It's been really good to see that side of you and to read that.
But you I think have commented, that I'm actually using photos of me.
Yes,
more.
yeah.
And when I decided to do the 315 journey, they're calling it, because they've got me on one of their pages on the website, taking information from some of the posts I've done. And you are correct, I have been open, because I think if you're open and honest and you are real, people can identify, not always with you, not always with some of the subjects you talk about, but that allows them to resonate. And I remember after that post you're referring to about joining 315, it was bizarre because I'd leave the shop and go uptown to get something to eat, and people would be shouting over about it. People would be talking to me, stopping me. They'd be coming in the shop talking about it. They'd mention it in the gym because I'd managed to touch on insecurities that they themselves had felt at various stages, not just of 315, but maybe other elements of life.
Well, that's like me. That's what I said to you. And I was like, I couldn't believe that you announced your weight on the post. I was like, Paul, what are you doing? You don't need to put your weight out there. Because at the end of the day, I said to you, didn't I don't weigh myself. They're just numbers. To me, Paul, you look exactly the same as you did when I was coming here 23 years ago.
No,
You've not changed at all.
Well, I think, no, that is not true. That is not true.
Through my eyes.
Through your eyes. Well, you've
eyes.
just seen the changes, the greying, the weight, the wrinkles.
No.
But it's, for me, as you mentioned earlier, that if I put it out there in public, I have to do it. So putting it out there that I was doing the 315 journey, putting my weight there was was me putting it out that I would then have to do something about it. So
it's a bit like this, wasn't it? With Let's Talk,
so
giving you that accountability.
That's correct. And this I never thought I would do. I don't know whether this will actually get aired. It's supposed to be aired this afternoon. I
hope so, because it's been 3 takes. I'm not doing any more.
Well, and I'm the same. If this one doesn't work, we're out. We can do something else with a Sunday morning. But for me, putting it out there means I have to do it, because I'm not one. If I say I'm going to do something, I don't want to be known as a Billy bullshitter.
I know. I'm glad you said that, because me working in a school, I can't say that.
You can't say that. So it was a way of making sure I did it. And again, the reactions, and your reaction particularly, you are always uber supportive of anything I am doing. And I thank you for that, because this would not be happening without you. Because when Sam said to me, the first one's got to be about you, I was like, no chance. I'm not going to sit and talk about me.
Well, that's the important thing, isn't it? If we go back to Let's Talk and Totally Local Lancaster, this episode is about you. You wanted it to be about community. You wanted it to be about other people. But actually, it was, Sam did mention that he wanted the first episode to be about you, and rightly so, because you don't do that. You don't plug yourself. You don't promote yourself. You put other people first. And it's important that somebody does that for you. And this episode is about you. So yeah, and actually, your post, I went to Reset when it first opened, and did the pods, and I haven't been back. And actually, you doing those posts made me realise how much more there is there now. It's amazing.
Neil took me around, as some of my Facebook posts demonstrated, that I went and did the red light therapy, and that is fantastic. I need to go back. I need to allot myself the time to do it, because that's it in life, isn't it? We don't think we've got time. We don't do it. It gets skipped, and we miss out. Like 315, I am making the time, but
Maddie holds you accountable.
Maddie holds me very accountable all the time, without saying very much.
Shout out to Maddie, because you have sessions with Maddie. I also go to Maddie's classes, so
Yeah, and you equally love them, but yours are different to what I have.
You're on a 1-to-1. I'm in a group, small group, but it's interesting that there are other PTs that do the small group strength training that I do, but I will only go to Maddie's because she's just so. I mean, they're all lovely. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, Maddie's special. But
this comes back to what we're doing here. This is about community, and it's about people. And when I was approached, it was immediate, a 2-hour discussion was like, no, I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
Love the idea of promoting our community, because within promoting our community, for people not in our community that might end up watching it, if anybody ends up watching it, they might see.
I think they will watch it for a laugh.
For a laugh, yeah. For the outtakes only. And maybe that's what we should call it, the Let's Talk outtakes. But we're just a micro economy. We're just a micro district of districts throughout the country. So I hope anybody watching from other areas of the country actually go, well, we've got that here, and make them proud of what they've got. But it's about that human connection. Ours at 315 is with Maddie. She's special. You've got all the other PTs there, you've got all the other members of staff there, you've got the owners, who are all incredible and inspirational people, because everybody has stories. Mine might not be the most exciting story out there, but some of the people that we're going to interview going forward have incredible stories from...
Well, Maddie going back to Maddie, and you're going back that human connection. I was unwell, so and Maddie kept in touch. You know, she would ring and say, "I've not seen you at the gym," and it's that, isn't it? It's that, like, going above and beyond.
Yeah,
there are people out there that just go above and beyond.
And hopefully, these stories will inspire other people who maybe think, "I would like to reach out to help or do something or get involved with something," that if it encourages them, gives them the strength, or even just that, well, it's okay to do, because that's what we need to do. And right now, I'm concerned about the whole makeup of communities, the people feeling disenfranchised by politics, by just the way things have panned out during the pandemic, which is where Totally Local started. But during the pandemic, there's a great sense of community spirit, clapping the nurses, the NHS. There was looking after neighbours. There was certainly more courtesy, even driving down the roads. There was more courtesy there. Since the last lockdown, that sort of dwindled away and disappeared, as I think most people are experiencing difficult challenges. And going forward, that's if we can, both you and I, Andy, Sam, and everybody that watches, if we can try in our own community to bring that special connection back, where we know our neighbours 3 down the street. I mean, I remember living on Holbeck Avenue in Morecambe, and I knew the neighbours literally immediately, 1 or 2 doors each side, and a couple of the neighbours across the road. But if you asked me to tell you who lived 4 houses down to my left, as if I was coming out of the front door there, and across the road, I didn't know who they were. That's not how it was. That's not how it was a generation ago. And when I was talking to Isam about it, we've got all sorts of, or actually Isam's got great insight into the breakdown of community that we're currently seeing. And he has a fascinating, and I would like to actually interview Isam one day. Or we interview him, because I think you...
This is my last episode.
No, it is not your last episode. Otherwise, I resign too. That a lot of what held community together was the same as what held households together, and that's the mum. The mums hold community together and homes together. And things have changed for mums, and things have changed outside of the home. And that's what maybe we'd like to see readdressed and brought back to a better community for us, and a better community as a country.
One thing that I noticed by your till, you've got the Totally Local Lancaster leaflet with all the shops on it. When I was looking at it, and I don't know when that was printed, but when I was looking at it, I couldn't believe the amount of shops that have closed.
Yeah.
I was going through, and I was like, oh, that's not there anymore. So how long ago was that printed?
That was, well, this summer. It will be 3 years ago.
Gosh, so that's unbelievable, because I was expecting you to say a lot longer.
And that's 3 years.
That's really telling everyone, isn't it, the importance of kind of shopping and supporting those independent local businesses.
It is concerning when you break it down like that. When you look at something like the leaflet you're referring to and see the amount of businesses that aren't there. But so far, Lancaster has been so blessed that if a business closes, generally it's replaced. And especially small little units like we have here, they're easy to re-let, and businesses come and reopen. So all those businesses that are no longer, that you identified when you were looking through that leaflet with us, that they've been replaced. There are other businesses there, and that is the normal. That's organic. But I'm fearful that will slow down, or I'm particularly fearful that a specific sector of businesses replace them that might not be healthy. I've always believed in for a well-balanced city centre that people come. It shouldn't be a hub of hospitality businesses, because people need more than just to come in and have a coffee or a meal or takeaways. We need a good balance, so that way people come and they stay, and when they stay, it's better for them. The communities, again, historically have changed. Where there used to be a local corner pub, all that sort of died. So vibrant city centres are key for the social element of life, and if that balance is not managed correctly, and planning from our local authority is a good way of stopping the makeup of a city centre varying to a detrimental level, that it gives people places to go, places to meet, to chat. So we have to be very careful of how the coming years businesses are supported. They need support. And right now I have a big issue with the car parking and the local authorities' determination to restrict cars coming into the city centre. They're very open about it. And last week, one of the city centre car parks closed, built on. There's adverts out for a large sway of car parking to be, they're looking for a developer to work with the local authority to build on car parks. And ultimately, public transport, as I found out when I went to London, isn't reliable. It is not reliable, and a number of people have spoken to me this week about the number of trains that got cancelled and how it inconvenienced them. So until we can get a good system in place that is reliable, that people know, like in many other countries, that if they book it, they're going to get there, and they're going to get there in the time scale they need. So I've waffled on a bit there. I've waffled on a bit there, but yeah, so we need to promote community and families. Families would be an interesting one for us.
Yeah, and talking about family, and this episode is about you. Let's talk about your family.
As in, my dad coming to England.
Whatever you want to talk about.
Well, okay. So my dad came to England.
You've got children yourself.
Yeah. Okay. So, Dad came to England, and over the years, I've often reflected on this. He came to England in 1958, met my mum 59, got married 60, first child 60 in 1960, I should say. So I'm one of 3 boys. My dad was one of 4. I've had 4 boys. I have 4 boys, and I now have a grandson, Leo, from Luca and his partner Kasia.
I've met Luca. He's a dashing young man.
Dashing young man. So
gets his looks from his dad, does he?
Well, I knew that was coming, but I wasn't quick enough. But yeah, a great little boy. He's 4.5, 4 3/4. He's autistic, but he has so many great qualities, as a lot of people with autism do. They have strengths that you've got to help, and Luca and Kasia are absolutely incredible parents. I wish I could have been the type of parent Luca is. I can openly say that, because he is so gentle, he's so hands-on in every way. So that's my grandson, and then through Catherine, which is my stepdaughter, she's got a beautiful little boy called Arthur, and I'm finding I don't get to spend as much time with Leo as I should, but I'm finding that having grandchildren, is fantastic. You can hand them back, and I'm realizing how much energy little ones need. They have, but also as parents or carers or babysitters that you have to have, because they are on the go, and it's like, how on earth do you manage this when you're younger and got your own children, and you've got all this to deal with on top of being young yourselves? Because relatively when I had children, How old was I when Ricky was born? 24. I was 24, about that. And Curtis was born in 99. So, 93. So Ricky was born 93. I got 4 children over 6 years. So but I missed out because I was out working and doing a second job, and at one point a third job, because life's costly. Not as costly as it is now, or maybe it was relative, but I had 1 full-time and at one point 2 part-time jobs to make it work, so I missed out. This is where I should be taking advantage now of the grandchildren, because I do one job, albeit 6 days a week, but I do one job. It's not a taxing job for me.
Well, it's you're busy, and you've got, like you say, you run the totally local Lancaster. You do a lot, really, so you need to give yourself credit there.
Yeah, but that shouldn't be at the cost.
No. Well, it's like you said about going to reset, isn't it? You want to go back to reset, but it's making that time, because we can say that we're busy X, Y, and Z, but it is making that time for for family, for your well-being. Yeah. That's important, isn't it?
It is, but I don't think I'm any different to most. Do you put yourself forward first and foremost? I don't think you do. Before you answer that, I don't think you do. I see what you do for people.
This is not about me. This is about you, Paul.
Okay, yeah, but as co-hosts, we can touch on you too, I think, because what you do, your role in your job, I know you give more hours than maybe you should be doing, and your commitment.
I'm very good at looking after my well-being, though. I've got a lovely cockapoo that I walk.
Okay.
I like reading. I'm reading a book actually by a local author, and it's about it's based in Lancaster. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful story.
Are you going to give a shout out?
No, but I might do it later. Yeah, no, not.
Yeah, no, yeah. Okay, I've got to be open and honest. Yeah. But okay, all right, I won't push that.
It's lovely.
But you understand, though there's you and your brother, you're from a bigger family, one generation back.
My dad's one of 6.
Yeah, and again, I know most.
And my dad grew up on a fairground, the Winter Gardens fairground.
Wow. So you see, we should be doing an episode on you. There's more there about you. My
aunt is a chairperson of the Winter Gardens now. She will love that shout out.
Well, and I've got to say, the members of the family I know, which predominantly are your dad, Professor Vanessa, and Lorraine. I don't really know.
You've got to say my mum.
On the Toolman side, but yeah, your mum is a special lady, and actually, you remind me so much of your mum. You've got so many of her ways, but she, Professor Vanessa, what she does and what she gives. I mean, I would.
It's unbelievable.
I would love to have her sat here. So maybe if she gets to watch this, and it would have to be an extended version because she is one incredible lady.
Yeah, she's fascinating.
And in fact, I think we're going out for tea with her.
Oh,
shortly.
Right, okay.
So I'm looking forward to that. So
yeah, she's very, very
well,
interesting.
I think maybe it's time to finish, unless you've got something else to say.
Well, you're not meant to finish it.
Okay. Before you finish it, then.
That's meant to be me. I'm meant to do the finishing.
Okay.
Come on, Paul. This is our third time. You know how this goes.
Okay. I will let you finish, because I've now completely forgotten what I was going to say. So there we go. So I'll let you finish it.
Over to me. Is that what you're saying?
Over to you.
Yeah. Well, Paul, I want to say thank you for asking me to be part of this, even though I originally said no.
As I did.
I am not doing this.
Yeah.
But I have had so much fun, and I have not laughed as much as I have laughed over the last few weeks. For ages. It's just been such fun. Really, really enjoyed it. Really loved getting to know you more. I already thought I knew you well, but I've just really, so thank you. And on behalf of the local community, I want to say, Paul, you are wonderful and you are loved. And in the month of love, you are loved.
Okay. Thank you for that. And hopefully you'll enjoy watching this. And if you don't, then maybe tune into the other ones, because hopefully they will be better than this one. So thank you, Stephanie. And I look forward to working with you.
No, this is my last one.
No, it isn't. No.